There is something undeniably powerful about stepping into a living room where the ceiling stretches far above you. Before you notice the furniture, before you register the colors, you feel the space. High ceilings change the way a room breathes. They create silence, lightness, and a sense of calm luxury that cannot be replicated in standard height interiors. The air feels lighter. The walls feel more intentional. And the living room instantly transforms from a functional space into an architectural experience. In high-ceiling living rooms, design is no longer just about filling space, it's about guiding the eye, balancing scale, and using height as a storytelling element. Every surface matters. Every shadow counts. Every design decision must respect the vertical drama of the room. And as we explore these spaces together, you'll notice how thoughtful proportions, lighting, textures, and furniture placement can turn towering ceilings into warm, inviting environments rather than cold, echoing volumes. Architecture and vertical space. The foundation of every high-ceiling living room begins with its architecture. This is where the space establishes its identity. Double height volumes, vaulted ceilings, cathedral structures, or dramatic flat ceilings with extended proportions all create different emotional responses. A double-height living room feels bold and contemporary, often connected visually to upper floors through glass railings or open corridors. Vaulted ceilings, on the other hand, introduce softness and movement, guiding the eye upward with gentle slopes rather than sharp vertical lines. Walls and high ceiling spaces are never meant to feel empty. They are intentional canvases. Architectural wall treatments such as vertical wood slats, full-height stone cladding, subtle concrete textures, or lime wash finishes help visually anchor the height. These materials add rhythm and scale, preventing the room from feeling hollow or unfinished. Tall windows play a crucial role here. Floor-to-ceiling glazing, clear-story windows, or vertical slit windows pull natural light deep into the space while reinforcing verticality. Light doesn't just enter the room, it travels through it, creating changing moods throughout the day. In well-designed high-ceiling living rooms, architecture does not overpower comfort. Instead, it frames it, allowing the living space to feel grand, yet deeply human. Lighting and statement fixtures. Lighting is where a high-ceiling living room truly comes to life. Without it, the space can feel distant. With it, the room becomes warm, dramatic, and emotionally grounded. In tall living rooms, lighting is never an afterthought, it is a vertical composition. Statement chandeliers, oversized pendants, or sculptural hanging fixtures are often suspended low enough to visually connect the ceiling to the seating area below. This creates intimacy within scale. Rather than relying on a single light source, layered lighting is essential. Recessed ceiling lights softly wash the upper planes, preventing shadows from becoming harsh or cavernous. Wall washers and concealed LED strips highlight textures such as stone, wood, or plaster, giving the walls depth and movement. Floor lamps and table lamps then bring the lighting back down to human level. Their warm glow grounds the space, making the living room feel inviting rather than monumental. In many luxury high-ceiling interiors, lighting becomes sculptural art. Fixtures are chosen not just for illumination, but for their silhouette, material, and presence. Metal finishes, glass forms, and organic shapes all interact with the vertical volume, creating visual rhythm from floor to ceiling. When lighting is balanced correctly, a tall living room no longer feels oversized, it feels intentional, atmospheric, and serene. Furniture scale and layout. Furniture selection is one of the most critical elements in high-ceiling living rooms. Scale matters more here than anywhere else. Low-profile sofas and deep sectionals are often used to counterbalance the height above. Their horizontal lines visually widen the room, anchoring the vertical space and creating a sense of stability. Oversized seating doesn't overwhelm the room, it completes it. Coffee tables tend to be solid and substantial, made from stone, wood, or concrete. These materials add weight and grounding, preventing the furniture arrangement from feeling visually lost beneath towering ceilings. The layout itself is carefully considered. Furniture is grouped to form intimate zones rather than pushed outward toward the walls. This creates a feeling of closeness and comfort within the vastness of the room. Accent chairs, benches, and ottomans are used strategically to guide movement and define circulation. Nothing floats aimlessly. Every piece has a purpose. In high-ceiling living rooms, the goal is not to fill space, it is to shape experience. When furniture proportions are right, the room feels balanced, composed, and effortlessly luxurious. Materials, texture and wall treatments. In high-ceiling living rooms, materials do more than decorate, they soften scale and create emotional warmth. Without texture, tall walls can feel distant. With the right finishes, they become immersive and comforting. Textured wall treatments are often used to visually break height. Vertical wood paneling draws the eye upward while adding rhythm and warmth. Natural stone walls introduce depth and timelessness, grounding the room with a sense of permanence. Soft plaster finishes, lime wash, or microcement allow light to gently move across surfaces, creating subtle shadows that shift throughout the day. Layering materials is essential. A single finish rarely feels complete in a tall space. Designers often combine smooth and rough textures, pairing polished floors with tactile walls, or sleek furniture against organic backdrops. Rugs play a surprisingly important role. Large-scale rugs define seating areas and visually anchor furniture arrangements. They also absorb sound, preventing echo and enhancing comfort in large volume rooms. Curtains are another key element. Full-height drapery, mounted close to the ceiling and flowing all the way to the floor, emphasizes height while adding softness and elegance. Whether sheer or heavy, curtains bring movement and intimacy to expansive walls. Through materials and texture, high-ceiling living rooms transition from architectural statements into lived-in, soulful spaces. Styling, art and lived-in details. Styling is what brings personality into a high-ceiling living room. This is where the space becomes truly human. Large-scale artwork is often used to match the proportions of the room. Oversized paintings, vertical art installations, or curated gallery walls help visually fill the height without clutter. Art in these spaces isn't about quantity, it's about presence. Indoor plants and trees are frequently introduced to soften vertical lines. Tall olive trees, ficus, or sculptural greenery bring life and organic contrast, breaking up architectural rigidity. Decor objects are chosen with intention. Rather than many small pieces, high ceiling spaces benefit from fewer, more substantial accents, sculptural vases, textured bowls, or statement books placed thoughtfully. Personal details matter here. Throws casually draped over sofas, cushions with layered textures, and subtle imperfections all help counterbalance the grandeur. They remind us that this is not a showroom, it's a living space. When styling is done right, the room feels effortless. Grand, yet relaxed. Impressive, yet deeply welcoming. High-ceiling living rooms are more than just tall spaces. They are an opportunity. An opportunity to design with intention. To balance architecture with comfort. To let light, texture, and proportion work together in harmony. When thoughtfully designed, these living rooms don't feel empty or overwhelming. They feel calm. They feel elevated. They feel timeless. They remind us that luxury doesn't come from excess, it comes from balance, scale, and thoughtful design choices that respect both the space and the people living in it. Thank you for spending this time exploring high-ceiling living rooms with me. If you enjoyed this deep dive into architectural interiors, don't forget to stay connected with Homey Studio, where design is not just seen, but felt. Until next time, let your spaces breathe, and let your ceilings tell a story.